Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Football Plays YouTube channel. Today is Wednesday, November 19th. 2-0. 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Maybe the worst start you could ever imagine for Western Michigan, but it doesn't matter. You give up a touchdown on the first drive. You then throw a pick on the first play. You allow a field goal, that's fine. Then you punt and allow another field goal, 13-0 in a blink of an eye. You give up 13 just like that. One good drive on the offensive side to make it 13-7 at the half. Remember last week, whenever Western Michigan played Ohio and they were down 7-3 at the half, Western Michigan got the ball and they ran right down the throats of Ohio, and it changed the entire motivation aspect of the game. It changed all the momentum of the game. Guess what happened in this one? Western Michigan gets the ball at a half, and Jalen Buckley just runs right down their throat, which is what they should have done from the opening snap. And once again, Western Michigan, after that touchdown, plays fantastic defense, doesn't give up a first down until late in the fourth quarter. They secure a muff punt. They go up 35-13 easily. NIU had, I think, a total of 5 plays in the 17, 18-minute span from the third quarter late in the fourth quarter. This was a shoving by Western Michigan in the second half, and I'm glad they finally woke up. Something to look at maybe for Western Michigan. Just take them after the second half, and you're going to be golden. Jalen Buckley goes well over 60. He's sitting at like 120 and 2 touchdowns. And then Western, we're just going to give us a win because it's -6.5. They're up by 16, and they're just moving the ball right down their throat once again with about 5 minutes left in the game. So we're going to lock that one up to 2-0 day. Let's do it again. Central Michigan going up against Kent State. Also, Western Michigan basically in the driver's seat now to at least make it to the MAC title game. They're at the top by themselves. Toledo, Central Michigan, Buffalo, Miami, Ohio, all sitting at 4-2, and this is going to be a big game for the Chippewas. -8.5 going up against Kent State. We're going to lock it up. I'll talk about the Miami, Ohio, Buffalo game and why I didn't want to lock that game up. I'm going with Central Michigan instead. They're still battling for the top, like I said. This is a must-win game for them in the MAC conference. Dropped 2 games this year. One of them was a bad loss. One of them was a decent loss. But you can't have bad losses in the MAC conference because this year there's 4 good teams, and Miami, Ohio was a good team before the DeQuan fiasco that happened. But this is a must-win game for Central Michigan, and I think they will take care of business here. Kent State, they got a good win last week in overtime going up against Akron. But the Chippewas, they have dominated Kent State. This has been a team who sees Kent State on the schedule and puts up 50 points. It feels like every single time they meet them, Central Michigan, they bring in a solid defensive unit. They forced 18 turnovers on the season, and we now have a +8 turnover margin for Western Michigan on the year. Kent State has a -3 turnover margin. I really think that Central Michigan is just going to come out. The exact opposite of what Western Michigan did tonight. I think Central Michigan is going to come out, take the ball, score a touchdown, get a stop, and score another touchdown, and this game's going to be over. I think they go up 14-0 in the first quarter. I'll take them -8.5, and it's just about keeping pace. I already told you, Toledo, Western Michigan, those teams, Miami, Ohio, and Buffalo play each other, but they're both 4-2. You got to keep pace here. There's only 2 weeks left in conference. Only 2 teams get to go to the MAC title game, so we are in must-win situations now for these teams who are 4-2. I'm going to take the Chippewas. I'll take a -8.5, and I'm going to lock that thing up. Let's go to the player prop, and then we'll talk about Miami, Ohio, who has given up on the season. Central Michigan -8.5, lock it up. Langston Lewis over the 52.5 receiving yards. I see 50.5, 51.5, and 52.5. So I went with the higher one because I think by the time this comes out, it might be 52.5 or even higher. But the reason we're going here is he's done nothing all season long. Absolutely nothing all season long. And in the last 2 games against Western Michigan and Buffalo, he has 10 catches for 229 yards and 2 touchdowns. Something has obviously changed. He is obviously getting plays called for him. He's had 75+ yard touchdowns in back-to-back games. This could be over in one pass. One play, it could be over. So give me the over 52.5 against the Kent State defense, who is not good at all. They played well-ish against some of these teams, but not good at all. Western Michigan taking some knees. 35-19 is going to be your final score for that Western Michigan game. Now let's talk about Buffalo and Miami, Ohio. So Miami, Ohio has decided to quit. Hanson's going to be the quarterback. He cannot move the ball. Against the game at Toledo, they lost 24-3. Great defensive effort, like I said, but then Toledo scores 2 touchdowns back-to-back on a horrible muff punt, and just the defense getting tired, playing back-to-back possessions. Go down 14-0. We knew the game was over after that for Toledo. Still played really good defense in the second half. Miami, Ohio did, but Miami, Ohio can't move the ball. They don't have a run game enough to move the ball consistently on teams. And I know Buffalo, not the best defensive team in the world. They've actually played a little bit worse at home than on the road this season. They have a couple bad losses at home this year. And really, whenever you think about it, this is why I didn't want to lock it up, because Miami, Ohio defense is good enough to keep them in this game. But at the end of the day, they can't score. The Miami, Ohio offense just can't score. So I'm going to take Buffalo on the money line. There's a reason I didn't lock it up. They're showing the max standings right now: 4-2, 4-2, 4-2, 4-2, 4-2, 4-2, and then Western Michigan 6-1. So this is an important game for the Chippewas. Hopefully they come out and dominate, because I do think actually Toledo's the best team in the MAC conference. They just had a trip up against Western in their first conference game, but I do hope it's Toledo, Western Michigan, Central Michigan going into the last week, and winner goes. That'd be great. Where was I? Buffalo money line. Mike Lewis over 52.5 receiving, and then Central Michigan minus 8.5 as the lock. Guys, gonna do it for the NCAA football picks and props for Wednesday, November 19th slate of games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please share like this video, and thanks for watching.